college and college is the new high school, well, this means that post-grad is the new college. If you want to work as a teacher, you now need a master's in ed. So the credentialing and the inflation of the credentialing is now continuing across time, delaying people getting into the workforce, forcing them to earn more and more degrees. The number of Americans over 25 with a master's degree doubled between 2000 and 2018. 13.1% of people have a postgraduate degree as of 2018. And again, this doesn't mean that they are better qualified than if they had gone to if they had skipped college in the first place. Because the reality is that only by working a job do you actually get good at the job. Now, this doesn't mean that nobody should go to college. Right? If you're majoring in STEM, if you're majoring in medicine, if you're majoring in math, you should go to college. If you're preparing for a law degree and you need the pre-law in order to get the law degree, in a better system, you just go directly into law when you're 18 years old. But if you're not going to do that, then perhaps you have to get the degree. But the notion that everyone has to go to college is a complete ridiculous nonsense principle. It's stupid and it's bad, and it's bad for America. And what this means is that we now have a completely bifurcated economy, right? Your ticket to admission to the economy is now an inflated college degree, driven by a left-wing institutional bias in favor of people who go to these colleges. And so if you want to get a job, you have to go to these colleges. Between December 2007 and December 2009, which was the Great Recession, college graduates actually increased their employment by 187,000 jobs. Everyone else lost jobs during that period. So what do you think people are going to do? You've created an entire incentive structure for people to go to college.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here. Today we'll be reacting to a Ben Shapiro video about what makes college a scam. My first thoughts is that college is no longer the end-all be-all. That is no longer the general one-size-fit-all path for all Americans, right? Now, when you go to college, you have to make an informed decision. Statistically, more women graduate from college than men, but also statistically, women have more college debt than men. And I believe that most of the reason, right, and I myself are part of that statistic too, that I dropped out of college. And one of the reasons why I dropped out of college was I already had extensive work experience. The only reason I was going to college was like semantics, essentially. My previous employer, didn't want to promote me unless I got a bachelor's degree. And I was like, yo, a lot of this stuff I'm learning in college, I already know because I worked in the field. So I made what any free market capitalist did. I let the market decide my value, and I found I was able to get the position in another company without having to go stay with the company. And that's a story for another day. Let's get into the video.
Again, I'm going to get to the scam that is our college system in just a second, because that's what underlies all of this. Joe Biden is upholding that scam. Right? Joe Biden says that he's going to hold colleges accountable. How is he holding colleges accountable? By giving them money? He's not clawing back tuition from these colleges. He's not going to these scam little universities that exist in low-income communities, prying money out of gullible people in order to give them a crap degree in hairdressing. He's not going and prying that money back from those people. He's not doing that. He's not sticking his DOJ on these organizations.
He should, though, because, like, imagine he was talking about that ITTTX of the world. I forgot what else. Those phony for-profit colleges. But literally, the same thing could be said about colleges and state, private currently. There's dance degrees, there's music degrees, African history. Like, where employer is going to employ you for jobs like that? And they claim on this, like, if you look at any college website, they'll claim that, oh, you can make $65,000 a year with these jobs. I'm like, yo, what job would you need to learn all that stuff? A lot of these degrees you can learn on your own from YouTube or on a course on Udemy or Skillshare. Skill acquisition shouldn't be so expensive to gain. And colleges are pricing themselves out of the market now, because the tuition just keep climbing higher and higher every damn year, and it never flatlines. Why? Because the minute the government gets involved in anything, it makes the problem worse. I've been telling you, government is not the solution. It's the problem. Student loan debt, you can't forgive those. Why? Because taxpayers are technically funding kids going to college, and then you're going to make the taxpayer also pay. It makes no sense, and you're only going to cause inflation. You're only going to make it worse, right? Biden forgives $10K. Okay, next year your tuition goes up by $10K. Exactly. But let's get back into the video.
He's not doing any of that sort of stuff. He is paying them. You understand that when he helicopters cash to relieve loans, what he is doing is driving up the price. He's driving up demand. He's driving up their profit margin. That is what Joe Biden is doing. He's paying off these places. Here's Joe Biden.
We're holding colleges accountable for jacking up costs without delivering value to students. We've all heard of those schools luring students with a promise of big paychecks when they graduate, only to watch these students be ripped off and left with mountains of debt. And my predecessors looked the other way, for some reason, with good reason, to do anything about this fraud. My administration is taking it on. For example, last week the Department of Education fired a college accreditor that allowed colleges like ITT and Corinthian to defraud borrowers. And combined with our emergency actions, the Public Service Forgiveness Program and other actions we've taken, we've been able to cancel more than $32 billion in student debt.
And where do you think that's coming from? Look, people who think government is like the solution of everything, the government does not produce anything. The government only takes. It's funded by what? The citizens tax dollars. So essentially, we're paying everyone in some way through their taxes is paying back this folly that is the college system currently. This is why I believe the federal government should discontinue making guaranteed federal student loans, because how it works, and this is my understanding, it used to be me, college, and I go to the college, and college has to be comparable. Like I have to be able to, college has to be affordable, because if they made their tuition $20,000 a year, no student has that. No, sorry, I'm underestimating it. $50K a year. No student has that walking around at 18 years old without taking a loan. And businesses won't give you a loan for college education. So college will be like, damn, we made our price too high. No one can afford it. But here's where the government causes more problems than it's worth. The government comes in as a third party, neither will benefit nor actually receive the negative result of their choices. And they'll just say, hey, we'll just cover it. Whatever you charge college, we'll match it. So the college looking at the government like, nice. We can print unlimited money like this. This is why they lobbied so hard for the government to create these federal student loans. Right? You guys been duped. I'm sorry. If you're a college student and you weren't educated about college before you got into it, I feel your pain, but hey, you made your bed, you gotta lay in it. But there's findings out there that if a college want, based on their endowry, they can pay off tuition free. Everyone can go to their colleges for free up to like 133 years. I forget how much it is. Because these endowries got more money than any private bank you know today. And not bank, corporation you know today. Because they don't get taxed on these endowments. They rank in billions of dollars. And y'all want to worry about taxing the rich. Y'all ain't taxing colleges at all. Because it's a educational institution. To me, I view college like a business now. And it's not... And the product and services that they're providing is over expensive for the result. Well, I get a 4-year degree. Okay, what can I do with it? Most 4-year degrees, you can't do anything with it unless if you go on to do your master's. But that's more debt. You just more debt you piling on. That's more of a financial burden that you have to get yourself out of in the future. Come on. And then this is why a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Zs, they can't own homes. They can't start a family because of this financial burden. And I believe it's unnecessary in my opinion. Because I got pretty far, and I only graduated from junior college. But I digress. Let's continue.
For 1.6 million borrowers, including those defrauded by these bad acting schools.
Okay, what he is doing is actually driving up. Again, he is driving up the profitability of these organizations. He can sporadically claim that he's going after ITT Tech, or he can sporadically claim that he's going after this local hairdressing university. But on a broad national level, when you subsidize people to go to these places, what you are doing is making them more profitable. And then, of course, Joe Biden says we're not done. We need even more free college. Right? 12 years of free education in the United States isn't enough. We need 16 years of free education. Now, here's the thing. There are many places all over the world that actually do subsidize college. But one of the things they do in order to subsidize college is they start tracking you in junior high, in high school. They start moving you into a field of study that is likely to lead to a job.
I know this is how it is in Japan, I believe. I believe that you, after elementary school, you start having to get tested into these schools now. And early, like from middle school, Japanese school system know, oh, these people are going to go to college just based on their grades. And it's very competitive. This is why these Japanese people, Asian people in general, are very smart. So everyone was like, oh, we should be having free college like these other countries. Well, they only look at, like usual, surface level thinkers. They only look at the good. They don't look at the cost for having that good. Hey, college is not going to be a choice. Here in America, you pick and choose if you want to go to college. No matter your test scores, there's a college out there in the United States for you. In these other countries where college is free, is not the case. They're like, hey, you gotta have a certain test scores to get into this college, and usually their test scores are higher. If you don't meet that bar, you ain't getting into college, regardless if you want to or not. The government ain't gonna go pay dollars for you to go waste, and it's probably only for specific majors. Here, college run like I said in the my earlier segment, they run like a business. Here's your list of products you can pick from. Here's the majors you pick from. To me, college will be less of a scam if there was varying tuition costs based on the degree you had. But they won't do that. Oh, one size fit all. All degrees are have equal value. All degrees have equal value. So if you're telling me if I get a dance degree from New York University and I get a computer science major degree from the same college, I paid costs for both degrees. One degree, I can't find a job nowhere in hell to pay me for this degree at a salary comparable to a computer science degree. But you pay the same cost for both. That don't sound like a scam to you? Don't shoot me. I'm just telling you my opinion. College will be irrelevant in 10 years. That's my guess. That's my prediction. Education, like I always said, education is the last thing to get disrupted, and it's desperately need to get disrupted. Because I'm tired of this monopoly game that the government is doing with the education system. Oh, no matter how much we raise our tuition, the students will still go in debt with the government to pay this tuition, so we're going to keep raising it. Everything's incentive based. That's my theory. That's my belief. Everything's incentive based. If people stop going, and this is why I think men at a large proportion are not going to college. Many people think, oh, men are falling behind in education. My take is men are pulling back because they're saying, hey, college ain't worth the squeeze. Look at how much debt I'm getting in. I'm going to be strapped with this debt for 12 years. It's almost like a mortgage. And men are like, nah, I'd rather not go through that. I'd rather get work experience and find my way a different route. That was my thinking. And I think a lot of men are trying to find alternatives to college. And I think that's what's going on right now. But I digress. Let's continue.
They are not interested on the government level in subsidizing your aspirations and dreams to be the next Andy Warhol or the next J-Lo. That is not in their mode of interest. Instead, what they are attempting to do is prepare you for the workforce. But that is not what Joe Biden is talking about. When he says everybody should have a college degree, what he means is you should be able to study anything you want, and then no matter what you study, you should be able to earn $200,000 a year. And then if that doesn't work out for you, we're going to relieve your debt. Why does he say this? Because his entire Democratic coalition is low-income people and college-educated white ladies. That is his entire Democratic coalition. And who do you think he's attempting to appeal to here? That is the whole predicate for this policy. Here is Joe Biden, again, subsidizing the biggest scam in American education.
When America made 12 years of public education universal in the last century, we became, not figuratively, literally, the best educated public in the world, and better prepared than any other nation. And I would argue that it's one of the reasons why we were so successful and have been so successful. But as you've all observed, other nations...
Okay, sorry, I got to pause it again. The only reason I think we've been successful is because foreign students still come here and study in our universities, right? I think if the foreign students don't come over here and it was just Americans, you'll see it real quick. Because I know in grade school, I forgot what year it was. I think it was somewhere 2012 when he was bragging about when we made college 12 years free, we're in the top of the nation. It was our test scores wasn't competitive with the rest of the world already. And I think it's due to the fact that we don't allocate resources properly to innovate in the educational system. Educational system hasn't changed for, I think, since the beginning that school started, in public school education started in the United States. I think we never changed how we do things. You funding more public school education is like throwing money into a fire. It ain't gonna do nothing. It's just gonna get soaked up by the administrators. The teachers still gonna get underpaid. That's why I'm pro school choice here, because it's time to bring some innovation. It's time to. I can't envision how the free market education system will work, but my theory is just like a business. If someone come out with some revolutionary educational process, hey, this is how we teach our kids here in the Innovative School Inc. here, and then we see the results of that. We're like, the parents, voluntarily fund that school, and all the business naturally will go to that school because the school provides value to the marketplace and people find it valuable. That will incentivize further schools to adopt their style, and This will raise the quality of education instead of sitting here and be like, one top down, one size fit all. We've always been doing this for 220 years. All we got to do is dump more money in it. No, that's not how it works. The point of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. What we're doing is not working. And I don't see anything that the teachers unions are changing except adding transgender theory, critical race theory in classrooms. This is what I'm saying. I don't think they value anything tangible here. I think this is just all for show, all for fluff to get you to vote for Democrats in November. That's all I think it is.
Nations have caught up. In the 21st century, in my view, I think the vast majority of the Americans, 12 years of universal education is not enough. And that we're going to be outcompeted by the rest of the world if we don't take action.
We're going to be outcompeted unless we start relieving student loan debt for people who, didn't finish college or didn't get a degree that was capable of earning them out on their loans. That's what's going to do it. Because here's the thing. America has a bifurcated higher education system. When it comes to STEM, we are really, really good. People from all over the world are still coming to top American colleges and universities in order to learn. Okay, and then there's the rest of the university system, which is, I keep saying scam because it really is. What you have to understand about the way that colleges work in the United States is we have been, since 1950, in the process of basically saying to most Americans that the baseline degree in order to hold a job is a college degree. And that is a massive mistake. All that you have done is taken a bunch of jobs that don't require a college degree and now force people to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans and debt in order to get a job that does not require them to go to four-year university.
That's how you know if you made a good choice or not. If you can go into, you get let's say 6 figures in debt and you come out of college making 6 figures, that was a good trade-off. But if you get 6 figures in debt and the starting position for your degree is 45K a year, because even in my field, starting salary is 65K. 6 figures in debt, 65K. I'm like, okay, if I really go like bare bones, I could pay off my student loans in 3 years. Like, this is the kind of thinking that you have to do. But what I see too long is they go in, they think it's like a Pell Grant. Like, I don't have to pay this money back. And then when they graduate, and I know my brother personally, he graduated college, 4-year degree. He has more education than me. But I asked him, hey, what you doing with it? Oh, I don't know yet. I'll say, what about your student loans? I don't even want to look at my student loans. How are you going to fix a problem if you don't look at it? And that's what I'm seeing is this willful blindness. Like, I don't want to face my issues. I don't want to face my problems. Someone's going to save me out of my problems. And this is what I'm talking about, that America needs to stop looking at the government as some type of messiah, some type of solution, some type of, dare I say, God. They can't do nothing for you. If they get involved, it's a trade-off. Something else is going to get worse. It's like a butterfly effect. They come in, save you from student loan debt, and next you know, inflation goes, hyperinflation happens. And then now everyone's standard of living is threw out of whack because the government decided to go save a bunch of kids that made poor choices, and they didn't want to take accountability for their poor choices.
In 1950, 7.3% of American men and 5.2% of American women went to college. In 1980, that number was 21% of men and 13% of women, a nearly threefold increase. As of 2019, 35.4% of men had gone to college, so had 36.6% of women. So why exactly is that necessary? Is that because everything went into the service industry, or is it because if you try to get a secretarial job now that would not have required a college degree in, say, 1960, you now have to have a 4-year bachelor's?
Asinine.
Everything requires a college degree now. And here at my company, by the way, we don't do this, right? If you can show work experience, very often we'd rather have the work experience than the college degree.
And that's true in all industry, in my opinion. Like, if you can somehow, this is a hack. When you're in college, try to get an internship as fast as possible. That's what I did when I went to junior college. I tried to get an internship in my job field as fast as I could. I was able to get it in my sophomore year, and then I was able to turn that into a full-time job. And then the rest was history. College became something I could be willing to drop out of. And I think that's what a lot of smart individuals should start doing now, because the risk is too great now. Like, if you make a mistake, you jeopardize your future for a long term. And this is why a lot of millennials can't afford to have a house. Literally, me saying I'm a 26-year-old homeowner put me at 16% in my generation. And in the future, they're already projecting that millennials, Gen Z will never be able to afford a house. They'll be forever renters. And I think mainly it's because of college. We need to defund college or stop going to college or find alternative routes that's better than college? And I think there is. There's the trades. There's a lot of demand for trades because they have such an aging workforce that they're looking for apprentices to take over, because our infrastructure is running on the trade people, the welders, the electricians, HVAC, whatever. Our whole infrastructure is ran in the trades, and it's a lower barrier of entry. $10K most you'll pay for that education, and you get almost what? You start off about $55K, and you work your way up. You can make easily 6 figures, and you got no debt. That's a huge advantage. It reminds me of a meme. Would you rather be making 6 figures, but you got $200,000 in loans? No, not 200. It was like $500,000 in loan. Or you're a plumber, but you forever will be making $80K a year, but you got 0 student loan debt. Most men will pick the 0 student loan debt with the $80K salary, because we don't care about status jobs anymore. But I digress. Let's continue.
Great. I went to UCLA and Harvard Law School. Both of my business partners never graduated from college. One never even won. Okay, because the reality is that success in American life should not be reliant on receiving a credential from a top university where basically you learn to speak woke, where you learn how to put pronouns in your Twitter bio.
That's true.
But that's the entire goal here. This credentialism has largely come at the expense of blue-collar people, many entrepreneurial people who would have been better off just getting an apprenticeship in a particular business. Because here's the reality, and every employer knows this. When you get a kid straight out of college, you get 2 things. One, you know their IQ because you know where they went to college, right? That's all college is. It's a giant organizational feeding system.
Mm-hmm.
I would be better off in many cases just looking at the SAT score of people coming out of high school than I would them coming out of college. I know if they come out of college, 2 things. Where they went to college, which means their IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, that they have no idea how to do the job I'm about to put in front of them. Because no one in human history has been qualified to do a job coming out of college before doing the job. The way that you learn to do a job in the United States is by actually doing the job. All we have done is delay, for most people coming out of college, the actual business of getting on with their life by 4 years while they party and drink.
It's extended adolescence, essentially, right? You graduate from high school and you get 4 more years of staying a teenager, when technically when you graduate high school, you're supposed to already be seeing yourself as an adult, and you're supposed to be responsible for your choices and actions. But now, because, government want to act like our parents, we're infantilizing these young adults, like people my age. People my age still live with their parents. They still think, oh, I'm too young to start a family. I'm too young to do this. You're 26. You're 4 years away from 30, right? This is why they keep pushing the 30s, the new 20, is the extended adolescence. They just want to extend childhood. I just don't want no responsibility. Now they use words like adulting. Huh? Like, bro, I'm telling you, college is a big part of why that's happening. College should not be a right or a privilege that everyone has. It's something that you have to earn. Because I think most people who go to college, they drop out. They drop out, fell out. To me, I'm like, yo, I think it would be a better use of people's time if they learned earlier on where they stood. Oh, hey, I'm not the academic type. Maybe I should go into the trades. Oh, I am the academic type. Maybe I should go into STEM. Hey, I like to dance. Instead of going to college for dance, like, where are you gonna learn? If you're gonna major in dance, I'm pretty sure you already know how to dance. Go try to make a living off of it instead of wasting your life going to 4 years of college. And that's the biggest part of why college is a scam, in my opinion. There's a lot of worthless degrees in the college system. I'll have more respect if they just take out all the worthless degrees. But what they're trying to do, like a business, they're trying to get as much market, as much customers, as much students into their facilities as much as possible. And this is why they put all these worthless degrees. Well, we got something for everybody. And you see the result. Now you got people begging, these young students begging, oh, please, student loan forgiveness. Because at the time, these students, they're not paying any taxes. They're not paying into the system. But they're going to extract $10K each out of the system. And you haven't even paid a iota of tax funds. You probably do it in your part-time job, possibly, but most of the people are working adults that's paying for that. So it's always going to be the young is extracting for the older for their bad choices. That's how it seems. Like a parent. Like, if my son do something, I have to bail him out. That's what we're looking for now? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me know if in the comment section I'm being too harsh. But that's how I see it. Like, I was strategic. I wasn't expecting anybody to come save me. That's why I have 0 student loan debt. And I thank God every day that a teacher opened my eyes to this information. And that's what I think. I think a lot of students should get an informed decision about college and the realities of college. Not this fairy tale, oh my God, you're going to this college, the best 4 years of your life. With the internet, a lot of the benefits that college used to offer is done better and at a cheaper rate than college can ever afford to. You learn more off the internet than you ever did in college. I learned more from books, like self-educating myself, than I could ever learn by a professor in college. Political science teacher, who will teach me better, Ben Shapiro or a random generic political science teacher somewhere in some university? Maybe in the higher ends like MIT and Yale, maybe. But you learn a lot more on the internet about politics than you would if you went to college. That's just my opinion. That's just my take. That's my take. Off the cuff take.
That's true for everyone in the liberal arts. Okay, I'm a liberal arts guy. I went to poli-sci major at UCLA, and let me just tell you, it was a completely useless degree. It was useful only in getting me to law school. And when it came to Harvard Law School, I can tell you that year 1 was useful, year 2 was less useful, and year 3 was a complete waste of time designed to drive up debt. So I had to work at a major law firm and pay it off.
Wow.
Okay, that's what it was. And everybody knows the scam. Everybody inside the system knows the scam. There's a study from Harvard Business School professors Joseph Fuller and Maniari Raymond in 2017 finding that degree inflation is undermining U.S. competitiveness and hurting America's middle class.
It is.
Like degree inflation, the notion that you must have a degree to get X job when you really didn't need the degree for X job. Fuller and Raymond explained postings for many jobs traditionally viewed as middle skills jobs, those that require employees with more than a high school diploma but less than a college degree, in the United States now stipulate a college degree as a minimum education requirement. Our analysis indicates that more than 6 million jobs are currently at risk of degree inflation. That was in 2017. It's gotten much worse. And the people it's predominantly hurting are blue-collar people, minority people, people who may not have gotten a great high school education. Those are the people who are getting absolutely slammed. The demand for college graduates is leading to a massive increase in the number of Americans pursuing postgraduate degrees, right? Because if you go to college and college is the new high school, well, this means that postgrad is the new college.
College artificially became a gatekeeper. Like, that's what government corporations, they artificially use college as a gatekeeper, as a filtering system. And the filtering system is filtering out majority of Americans from certain jobs that they don't even require a college degree. There's some jobs I see, I'm like, why you need a college degree for this? Like, I think someone working their way up could just get this job. Why you have to put a college degree on it? It's just like an unnecessary stipulation. Because back then, college used to be seen as like some type of status symbol. We're like, oh, we're so smart. Everyone's here college educated. But college nowadays, what you doing? Indoctrinating you with left-wing bias. That's what college. That's one of the reasons I dropped out of college too. I took a political science class. I argued with the teacher. I was like, no, I'm done with this. This is crazy. It's just like a stamp of approval. Like, hey, this person's been through training. Oh, this person's been indoctrinated. He's safe. He'll be your company drone. He has $200K in debt. He'll never quit your job. He can't take risks because he can't afford to because he has to pay back these student loans. And that's just my take.
If you want to work as a teacher, you now need a master's in ed. So the credentialing and the inflation of the credentialing is now continuing across time, delaying people getting into the workforce, forcing them to earn more and more degrees. The number of Americans over 25 with a master's degree doubled between 2000 and 2018. 13.1% of people have a postgraduate degree as of 2018. And again, this doesn't mean that they are better qualified than if they had gone to if they had skipped college in the first place. Because the reality is that only by working a job do you actually get good at the job. Now, this doesn't mean that nobody should go to college. Right? If you're majoring in STEM, if you're majoring in medicine, if you're majoring in math, you should go to college. If you're preparing for a law degree and you need the pre-law in order to get the law degree, in a better system, you just go directly into law when you're 18 years old. But
that's the idea I always had in my head. Like, if I was in charge of education, my first thought would be in high school, like middle school, you get all the arithmetic, whatever. In high school, I'll start teaching like skills so you can become employable at 18. Okay, here you can do computer programming. Here's IT. Like the high school will prepare you to get certifications so you can prove to employers, hey, look, I could do the task that you will need me for an entry level job, and then you gain experience, and then you can just promote. You can climb higher into the company without having to go to college. That's how I would do things. I'll run things a lot like trade.
If you're not going to do that, then perhaps you have to get the degree. But the notion that everyone has to go to college is a complete ridiculous nonsense principle. It's stupid and it's bad. And it's bad for America.
I agree.
And what this means is that we now have a completely bifurcated economy, right? Your ticket to admission to the economy is now an inflated college degree, driven by a left-wing institutional bias in favor of people who go to these colleges. And so if you want to get a job, you have to go to these colleges. Between December 2007 and December 2009, which was the Great Recession, college graduates actually increased their employment by 187,000 jobs. Everyone else lost jobs during that period. So what do you think people are going to do? You've created an entire incentive structure for people to go to college. So people go and they take out debt. And then many of them shouldn't be in college in the first place. Many of them drop out. And then many of them don't earn the sort of income they thought they were going to earn. And then Joe Biden, generous Joe, Santa Claus Joe, and the Democratic Party, they step in and they say, unconstitutionally, we are now going to pay off that debt, which of course exacerbates the system and makes it worse.
This is a circle, round and round we go, right? Government came, and all because government got involved between the student and the college. Student used to pay out of pocket. The college was lower, like $1,000 a semester, maybe even cheaper, 600, 500. I don't know what year. Let me know in the comment section if you know the trend of tuition increase. Government came in, and then the college was like, Because imagine, everyone's like, oh, colleges are right. These politicians, it always sounds nice when it come out of their mouth. I bet you it was a Democratic president that did this. I bet you. I might be wrong because I didn't do my research. But just based on my intuition, I feel like it was a Democratic president that put the federal government student loan thing in place, right? Colleges are right and a privilege that we all should have. I think there was a good movie that illustrated how all this started. Let me guys know in the comment section the movie's name. I want to rewatch it just to like refresh my memory. But the guy came in and then the college lobbyists wanted them to do that. And it literally looked like it's all planned. Go to corporations. Hey, corporations, make this a hiring criteria. Make us your hiring criteria. And then, we'll give you some kickback. Okay, we'll fill some good talent. Maybe maybe corporation got duped into believing, oh yeah, we can get some high quality candidates. And then throughout the years, as corporations get these college students, they start realizing these kids are not as prepared as we thought they would be coming out of college. Like, we still have to train them. We still have to do all this other stuff. And this is how people like me get in and be able to become a full-time at a job that requires a 4-year degree, because I learned so much in my 6 months internship that I was able to convert that into a full-time job. That's how I sold myself technically. I was like, hey, I got 6 months experience here. I'm able to do all this. Even this kid that's coming out of 4-year college, he will be demanding a higher salary because he got student loans to pay. I could come in, you could pay me at $40K, even though I know this job pays $60, but I know I don't have job experience, so I'm like bargaining with you, right? And I don't know if that's business savvy, because I read a lot of business books, but I thought I put myself in the shoes of the employer, and I knew how to sell myself, because my thing was, I wasn't worried about salary. I wasn't worried about getting paid as the same as my peers, because I didn't have the same job experience or the education. I was worried about, hey, I want to get job experience. That was what mattered to me the most. And I worked there for 3 years, and now in my new job, I make 6 figures, and I'm happy. And that's with only with a 2-year degree. I only graduated from a junior college. Like, it's amazing when you put your mind to things, what you can do and what you can figure out. There's opportunity there. It's a harder path. I will admit that it's a harder path. But hey, if you're willing to go through it, you're willing to do the work, anything's possible in this country. But let me guys know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree, disagree with my take? Give me your thoughts. I will be welcome to hear it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.